What's up, you guys? It's Erin. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I am a nurse and I talk about lots of beauty stuff in my free time, makeup, skincare, lifestyle. If that's something that interests you and you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me and would help this little channel out a lot. Today we are doing a video that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It is all of my single shadows, telling you what's best, what's worst, what products are my favorites, and which you should steer away from. It's not necessarily ranking, but it's just going to be a talk through of single shadows I like. Over the last year or so, I've just noticed a switch in the makeup that I gravitate towards. I don't think it's any secret that cream products have become huge on the market, and that includes eyeshadows as well. And I've really been drawn towards different textures and eyeshadows and mixing creams and powders together. And I don't find myself reaching for eyeshadow palettes as much, and when I do, they're much smaller. The large palettes in my collection I barely ever reach for, and I've really accumulated more single shadows because I just love mixing different textures and shades to what I prefer rather than being constricted to what's in a palette. So that's my little explanation there. I have everything. I have some notes here and I have everything somewhat organized in front of me. So let's just get into the single shadows, shall we? So I have a lot of different finishes of eyeshadows here. They're not just all topper shades. I have some matte, some shimmer, some metallic, some loose, all that goodies. So I made some notes here and I'm just gonna go in order of kind of how I wrote it. So I have a couple different matte liquid shadows that I really gravitate towards. That used to be something that would really freak me out and I wouldn't know how to use a liquid matte shadow, but over time I've really grown to love a formula like that. They tend to stay in place really well. They're a great base for powder shadows and they're very versatile. So I have a couple different formulas here. The first is one that I really love for every day. It's the Rare Beauty Nearly Rose liquid eyeshadow. And this was sent to me through the Octoly app. It's a beautiful pink matte shadow. And this is very blendable. It does dry quickly, so I would recommend you do one eye at a time, but it's super, super blendable and it stays in place whether you wear a primer or not. I love wearing this with other glittery single shadows on top and it does not budge. Like I can wear this for a 12-hour nursing shift. This has been in my everyday makeup bag and it does not budge. I absolutely love this shadow. I have the Nearly Rose shade because that's what was available on Octoly, but I think if I could pick, I would get the more neutral shade. I think I'd wear that one even more because this is pink, so if you don't like pinky shadows, you won't like this shade. But yeah, I highly recommend this liquid formula from Rare Beauty. Next, for matte shadows, we have the Becca Light Gleam Primer and Topper Liquid Eyeshadow. This was also sent to me through the app Octoly. This is the shade Lunar. It's also kind of a mauvey pink shade. This one, I don't find myself reaching for as much. It's not that I don't like this. The matte formula blends really well. It's just that it comes with a glitter topper. And this is the kind of product that I'd like to use for every day. But the glitter topper is like so glittery. It's not something I'd wear for every day. And it looks very pigmented on my hand, if you can see that there. But I find it patchy on my eyes and it just doesn't give enough punch. And I just have other glitters that I like better than this, and worn just these two on top of each other without anything else, I don't love it. So I just don't find myself reaching for this. I think I'd reach for it more if it was a matte and a shimmer, which I'm not sure if some of the other colors are shimmers, but this one in particular, the combo together just isn't my favorite. It's not that they're not nice separately, but because they don't go well together, in my opinion, I just don't reach for this. And then the last matte formulas are the newest to my collection. They're the Danessa Myricks Color Fix. We'll get more into the Color Fix formula because I have a bunch of different finishes, but these two are also matte. I have the shades Creme Brûlée and Chocolate. I do have an entire video dedicated to Danessa Myricks products that I posted last week if you are curious on a more in-depth review of these. For time's sake, I'm not going to get super into it, but I really do like these. They dry down a little faster than the Rare Beauty, and they're very versatile. I've worn Creme Brûlée on my eyes, lips, and cheeks, which I did in that video, and it wore beautifully. They're very long lasting, and just, I love the versatility of these, and I love using the chocolate for a liner. And these do not budge as well if you need a single shadow that doesn't budge. And I just love the packaging of these. The squeezy tube is sanitary, and she has so many color options if you're looking for matte shadow. I would highly recommend these. Now I made a little blurb about affordable shadows that I really like. I have to shout out the L'Oreal Infallible Shadow in Amber Rush. This is the first single shadow that I ever bought for sure, off of Jaclyn Hill's recommendation way back in the day. And this is the original pot, and I've used this so much, and it's probably way expired, but there's still a ton in there. I actually have this in my everyday makeup bag right now to wear on top of the Rare Beauty Nearly Rose shade. I absolutely love this. It's a great versatile, like coppery pinky shade, and it looks good with every eye look. I've loved this forever. I believe they still sell this, and for an affordable shadow, I like it better than a lot of high-end shadows I have. It's just a great metallic with a lot of reflectiveness, but it doesn't have glitter, so you can really dress it up or wear it every day, which is what I love about it. And it's just so great for my skin tone. I can't talk about affordable shadows without going into the Colourpop Super Shock Shadows. These are $6, and they are just amazing. I have a lot of different shades. I have a couple different shades here. These come in different finishes. When you look through to buy, you can see if it's like a metallic finish, a glitter finish. Sometimes I think they might have mattes, but I've never been interested in that. I have mostly glittery finishes except for one. I have the shade Like a Shot, which is an ultra metallic. And this is a great shade for every day because it's not too glittery. I like wearing this one to work a lot. And then my other favorite shade that I currently have on as a topper for this eye look is the shade A Little Quarky. It's a more glittery shade. It's like a bronzy shade with multicolored glitter, and they discontinued this one, but this is like one of my all-time favorite Super Shock shades. I'm so sad about it, but I love this with bronzy eye looks. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. My newest Super Shock shade is the shade Mint For You. I have a look up on my Instagram page right now where I use this shade. I was super impressed by it. It's very reflective. I am scared of color typically, like especially blues and greens, but I was pleasantly surprised by how much I love this shade, and it makes me want to just venture into color a little bit more. Then I have one that's an old favorite, but it's broken in here. It's the shade Ladybird. I definitely need to repurchase this. I think this is, I'm not even going to open it because it's going to make a mess. This is the first Super Shock shadow I ever bought. This is called an Ultra Glitter, which like some of these say metallic, some of these say Ultra Glitter. Most of mine are Ultra Glitter, it looks like. But this is a beautiful silvery pink topper shade. Mine's a little bit dried out and broken, so I definitely need to repurchase. But if you like that kind of shade, this is my favorite. And then I have two I don't reach for as much. I have the shades Deep Dive, which is a bronzy, like almost purpley bronze color. And then another beautiful purple. It's the shade Party. Some of it just came out. That's the thing with these, they do dry out, so I wouldn't recommend getting too many at once. Just get shades that you're going to use because they do dry out. But this is the shade Party of 5. It's like a purple with a green multicolor shift. Another category I want to talk about is my favorite glittery toppers. I do want to mention that the Colourpop Super Shocks are definitely part of that, specifically the shades Ladybird and A Little Quarky favorite, and those are both Ultra Glitter formulas, so I do want to shout them out for that. I can't talk about topper shades without talking about my Artist Couture Diamond Lights finishers. These are loose powder topper shades, and they come in a little sifter like this. They're a little bit messy, but they like really pack a punch with just a little bit of product. You can use these with a wet brush. You can use these dry. You will get a little bit of follow-up, but they really don't. They really stick together well for being a loose formula. Or you can use glitter glue. I just love these. I have the shade Nebula, which I swatched. It's like a purpley silver with a blue shift. can see that there. My personal favorite and most used is the shade Spotlight Glitz. It is a goldy, there's a lot in the cap there. It's gold with a little bit of pink. It's just gorgeous every day. Not every day, but like goes with every look, I should say. And I also have the shade Icy Girl, which is a beautiful icy topper, if you're looking for that. It's beautiful. All these are just beautiful tapped on the center of the lid. Maybe I should do a little bit of Spotlight Glitz right now. Not a lot. And you can just see how reflective that is, and you only need a touch. So yeah, I absolutely love these. They have more shades, and I definitely want to get them all at some point. And these will last forever. Another shadow I really love as a topper that's very reflective is the Dose of Colors. This is the Block Party shadow in Heart of Gold. It's just a single shadow, but it is powder and it comes in a component like this. And I really, really enjoy it. And this is like a green almost, like a green antique gold. I don't reach for this as much, but I just love this. It is a little bit drier, so I would recommend using like a glitter glue or using your finger. But this is a beautiful topper formula. I haven't tried any other shades, but I really do enjoy this one. And then the other glitteriest toppers I have to mention are the Danessa Myricks foil formula. I have the shade Milky Way, which is a silver, and Nebula, which is gold. These are pure glitter with really no base pigment to them. I like to use them tapped on with my finger, kind of like I did with the Artist Couture Diamond Lights Finisher. Just take a little down the center of your lid. I think if you apply too much of these, it can become patchy. That's why I just recommend tapping it onto an eye look that's already there with some base pigment, because you're not going to get a lot of color out of this, just pure sparkle. But if you're looking for that shine, I highly, highly recommend these, and she has a lot of colors in this finish as well. The next category I want to talk about are shadows that I really reach for often, for every day, that I really enjoy. They don't fit into a specific category. But first I want to talk about the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize formula. This is a very unique eyeshadow formula that I think is becoming more popular. Like Lorac came out with something similar. It's getting more popular on the market, but I think Charlotte Tilbury was definitely one of the first to do it. These are cream shadows that are metallic, that can be worn on their own or with different shadows on top of them, layered. I definitely think this is a tricky formula to learn. If you're not careful and you apply too much, they definitely crease. I prefer to use the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion under these, just to keep them from creasing, because everything creases on me to an extent, it seems. So a primer helps, and then applying them in thin layers and layering with other eyeshadow texture really helps. Today I have the shade Amber Gold, which I just showed you, over the Urban Decay primer as my base shadow, with a little bit of powder shadow in my outer corner to deepen it up. And I think layering with powder and different textures, I have some topper of the Colourpop Super Shock on there, really helps keep it in place. But I think using these as a layering shadow just adds so much dimension rather than a matte shadow all over your lid. They're shimmery, but they're not sparkly. They just give so much dimension to your face. It seems boring, but I really reach for these, and every time I go on a trip, I have to take at least one shade. Amber Gold is probably my most used shade, and then along with Oyster Pearl is my other most used. It's a more cool toned. Amber Gold's like a bronzy gold. Oyster Pearl is a little more cool toned taupe, which I really enjoy. And then I also have Star Gold, which I definitely reach for the least because it's a very warm toned gold, but this is beautiful as well, and I definitely love these shadows. If you like a cream shadow and you're willing to learn the formula, I would highly recommend these. Another product that I love that I tend to reach for when I just want a little sparkle on my lids that's reflective but it's not too intense, that's easy to apply, is this Kosas 10-second shadow in the shade Globe. They did send this to me a long time ago, and I just really enjoy this shadow formula. It is very liquidy and it has like a little ball in there. You really have to shake it up, which is the downside. It takes longer than 10 seconds because to get all the products shaken up, it takes a long time. And then it comes with this applicator here. Also be warned that it's very liquidy. If you dump it out, the stopper will not catch the product and you'll have eyeshadow everywhere, which I did. Let me just swatch this for you. It's just a beautiful bronzy gold color. But yeah, this just looks beautiful tapped all over the lid. It's super easy to apply once you shake it up. It is a little messy if you're not careful, but I find myself reaching for this shadow quite often. And then lastly, for quick everyday products is this Kaja Beauty Bento eyeshadow trio in the shade Glowing Guava. This has like a mauve powder shadow. The middle shade is like a taupey purple reflect, which is gorgeous. And then there is also a kind of maroon purple shade. I love this trio. It's super small, compact, easy to travel with. These shadows perform beautifully. But yeah, this is just all in one, a great product. I've always wanted to try the shade Orange Blossom. I think it's all the glitters because I really like the middle glitter shade. But this is a great all-in-one. It's great for on the go and just grabbing one small product. Highly recommend the Beauty Bentos. There's literally a shade for everybody in there. Now let's talk some honorable mentions. I cannot talk about single shadows without mentioning the Stila Glitter and Glows, and I have one Stila Shimmer and Glow. I have quite a few. These were some of the first single shadows I ever tried. They're technically liquid shadows. This one here is the shade Carefree, and it is my only shimmer formula. And then I have a ton of different shades of the glitter formula. I'm not really going to get into this because I don't really reach for these a lot anymore. The problem with these is that if you don't use them, they will dry up. Some of these are already dried up when I try to swatch them, especially the mini sizes. And sometimes, depending on the shade, they can be a little patchy. And I do think these are nice, and they are hyped and have been hyped in the past for a reason. But I just have glitters that I prefer over these at this point. Once in a while, I'll reach for one. But yeah, these are nice. I have one more liquid glitter shadow that I want to talk about. It's the shade Amethyst from Cover FX. And this is their Shimmer Veil. It's right in the middle there. It's a beautiful lilac shimmer. And this is, it's a glitter, but it has some base pigment to it, which I like. So you can apply this as a topper or, you know, and it's not just going to look like patchy glitter. I don't like when they don't have base pigment and then it just looks like patchy glitter on your lid if you're not careful. Yeah, this formula is beautiful. I definitely would be open to try more shades of this. Another formula I have to mention that is a favorite is another Color Fix formula. It's the metallic formula. This is the shade Ballerina and this is the shade Iconic. These are absolutely beautiful shadows standalone or as toppers. They're more metallic than the foil formula, so they just look better on their own or, you know, over other shadows. The Ballerina shade definitely is a little more of a topper, and this Iconic shade packs a punch. If you like a gunmetal taupey green that's a little grungy, this one's gorgeous. Let me just swatch these for you because I can't help myself. But yeah, this is probably my favorite. I like the matte a lot too, but this is probably my favorite Color Fix formula just because it's just so gorgeous and it's so versatile and it just blends easier than the metallic does. So there's Ballerina, the pink shade, and then Iconic. If you're curious about the Color Fix formula, the metallic I think is my number one, and I highly recommend these. They don't budge, they're easy to blend, and yeah, I will definitely be picking up more of the metallic formula. I had to save the worst for last, so I want to talk about single shadows that I don't think are worth your money. The first are these Lorac shadows. I don't even know the name of these. I always try to find it. This is their single shadow, I guess. I have the shade Satin, and then I also have the shade Velvet. So these, I just don't know what they are. They're not glittery enough to be a topper shade. They're not pigmented enough to be a base shade. I've never really gotten these to work for me. I really should just declutter them. But here, let me show you. This is the shade Velvet. Like, it's pretty, but it doesn't fit anywhere in my eye look, and it just doesn't wow me at all. And this is the shade Satin. I've never been impressed by these. I don't reach for them. I think they were both free gifts with purchase at Ulta, so that's why I got them. I wouldn't have picked them out otherwise. So yeah, steer clear of those. And then I also have these Ace Beauté Glimmer Shadows in the shade Cotton Candy and Ice Latte. I got these in a BoxyCharm back when I got BoxyCharm, and these are stunning shadows. They're very similar to the Colourpop Super Shock formula and in packaging as well. So I was excited about that because I love the Super Shock formula. And you can see they're so beautiful. But the problem with these is like they would like crease in like an hour on me. And they look like a creasy mess. Like I don't mind a little bit of creasing and to pat it out, but I could never get these to stay on me no matter how much I prep my eyes or whatever. And I'm okay with the creasing to a certain extent, but they were just like way too creasy, and I have not reached for these in a long time. If you couldn't tell, I need to get better at doing declutters. But I know a lot of people love declutters, but they just make me sad getting rid of makeup that is never going to be used or that was just a reject. I don't know. I'm not good at it. Okay, I have two more shadows to talk about. One is the Ciaté Eye Lustre Cream Shadow, another product that just didn't work for me. This is the shade... I don't even know what shade this is. It's like the icy shade of this. I can't find it on here. But this is, I don't know why I swatched my thumb right there. This is just, I don't like the color, first of all. It's way too yellowy or like yellowy poopy of a gold. I just don't like it. And when you apply it to your eyes, it looks patchy. It's like another just pure glitter formula. It kind of reminds me of the Becca glitter side of that dual shadow. And it just never applies well. I've tried mixing this with other products. It looks fine, but I just have formulas. I like formulas and colors that I like better than this. And then the next one I'm really sad about because it's a recent purchase of mine is the Pacifica Twinkle Paint in the shade Baby Stars. And I bought this during the spring Ulta sale just a few weeks ago. What is this called? The spring haul sale. Okay, so I've had this less than a month. Let me just show you what it looks like. I didn't even notice that. I mean, I'm sure it will shake up, but like for it to separate like that, it definitely wasn't separated like that when I got it. But beyond the separation disgustingness, I bought this with like the excitement that it'd be like a beautiful peachy champagne gold, because that's what it looks like here. On my eyes, it looked way more yellow, and it just didn't translate on my eyes, and it just looked patchy. Again, I was applying with my finger with a brush. I could not get it to work for me. It didn't look nice. The sparkles were just patchy on me, and it creased badly. So there's it blended out on my hand. You can see it's not as yellow of the gold as Ciaté, and it looks beautiful swatched, but on my eyes it looked way too yellow, way too chunky and patchy, and I don't know why it's separating like that when it's a brand new product. All right, that is it for my single shadow video. I think I mentioned everything that I wanted to. Hopefully you could find something useful in here. I think I have a lot of different formulas and have a lot of different helpful thoughts and tips on a lot of these products. So let me know down below if you like this kind of video, and what are your favorite single shadows? What products do I need to try that I haven't that are your favorites? I'd love to know. Let me know what you want to see in future videos, and like this video, subscribe to my channel. It all helps me out a lot, more than you know, and we'll see you in my next one. Bye.